How many of us, when you see that, have said to yourself, I will never grow up to be a bitter person? Bitterness is its own punishment. Which brings me to the Jacksons. The Jacksons were married for 55 years, and they were bickering. Bickering, I would guess, for decades. And what happened is Mr. Jackson said, well, maybe we should break up. And Mrs. Jackson called his bluff and said, fine. She packed his bags and said, you're out of here. And then he went into a panic. And she said, you're not getting back in unless we get help. I've had it with this complaining that you do. So there they are in my office, and they're bickering. And it's getting to me. It's exhausting. It's burning me out. And so I say to them, stop. Because what I realize is, though, even on the surface, even though they were bickering, I could see underneath it all that they were devoted to each other. They actually loved each other. I wasn't clear that they liked each other, but I knew that they loved each other underneath. And so with that, I said to Mr. Jackson, do you know that your wife thinks you're one of the best men she's ever met? And his jaw dropped, and she said, absolutely. He's never womanized. He didn't have an alcohol problem. And he worked hard at a job that he didn't like to support me and the children. He's a great man. He's just not the best communicator. And then he said to her, but what about all this nitpicking? You nitpick at me. And she looked at me, she said, I'm a nitpicker. I nitpick everyone. And then I asked Mrs. Jackson, do you know that your husband thinks you're the best thing that ever happened to him? And she said, what? And then without missing a beat, Mr. Jackson said, absolutely. I'm an engineer type. I'm left brain. I'm analytical. And she connects me with our children. She connects me with other people. She connects me with myself. Otherwise, I'd be a human doing instead of a human being. I get to have a home because of her. And what happened is they came in there bickering, and they left like lovebirds. And when they left, I was really upset because I thought, wow, 50 years of thinking the other person only tolerated them. 50 years of feeling that they didn't put a smile on the other person's face. And really not knowing that they were treasured.